Angry Guy here, and today we're discussing why Western women have lost everything but don't realize it. Today we're discussing why Western women have lost everything but don't realize it. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if I'm going to watch a video with you, but I want to show you something that's really happening, and it's only one of these things, right? So there's a video from Anthony Bryan Anthony Bryan Logan. He is a conservative black content creator on YouTube. Has almost a million followers and a million subscribers, and he posted a video today saying that most young men are single, but young women are not. Now, what's interesting about this video is that he reveals that. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump back a bit. Let's go ahead and jump back a bit. Maybe I'll play some of the video because I want you guys to hear this. This is absolutely insane.
Prepare to get offended. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Bryan Logan, and today we're going to talk about this very interesting article that I've come across that says 34% of young women are single compared to 63% of young men.
All right, so 34% of young women are single compared to 63% of young men. So they're talking about men and women in their 20s. I wanted to get that statistic for you. So for men and women in their 20s, 34% of women are single, 34% of women are single, 63% of men are single. This is an insane number at first when you hear it, but then you realize that most women today are going for the top 1% of the top 10% of men. The top 1% of the top 10% of men. Okay? They're not interested in 90% of other men. All right? They're interested in that top 10%. And from that top 10%, they're looking at the top 1%, which is absolutely insane. The standards that these women have are basically that the men have to be at least 6 feet tall or taller. The man must make what more than she does, and usually and when we say more than she does, that's assuming if she's a high income earner and she's making over $200,000 or $300,000 a year. Let's say she's a doctor, he needs to make more than that. But typically for most women, a guy needs to pull in more than three. He has to pull in 3 figures or above. So sorry, 6 figures are above. 3, yeah, we wish. 6 figures are above. So over $100,000 a year. And there's a lot of women who you cannot hold down an American woman with $100,000 a year. When you some places where you're spending $36,000 or even $40,000 in rent a year, if your gross income is $100,000 a year, but that's not your net. Your net's somewhere between $70,000 and $80,000 more or less, right? Depending on what you do and how you pay your taxes. And when you take and consider business expenses, so it's absolutely ridiculous. You can't hold a woman down with that kind of money. You just can't. And if your guy making $50,000 a year, oh, forget about it. She doesn't even want to look at you. She's calling you a broke boy. She's calling you a broke boy. All right. Doesn't matter if you have your own home. If you have an apartment. Doesn't matter if you own your car. Doesn't matter if you have money in the bank. You've got $20,000, $30,000 in the bank. Nope, you're a broke boy. $50,000 a year. You've got tens of thousands of dollars in the bank. You own your own car. You have your own place. You're solid. You have a solid job. Nope, you're a broke boy. You're a broke boy. All right. This is the modern day world. And then when you talk about what a woman has to offer today, women don't want to take care of men. They'll let you know, I'm not your mother. And it's interesting because a guy could turn to a woman and say, well, I'm not your father. Because what does a woman's father do for her? Before she comes into the world, her father, he provides for her financially. He's her protector. So if anything happens, he's there to protect her. He's there to ward off any men or anyone that's a danger to her, anyone that's a threat to her. So he's her provider and he's her protector. And he is also there for emotional support, showing her that he loves her and he cares about her. Okay? So he does all of these things for her. And when a woman leaves a man, she wants him to provide for her, to protect her, and to give her emotional support, just the way her father did. But then the same woman turns around and says, I'm not your mother. Don't expect me to clean for you. Don't expect me to cook for you. Don't expect me to take care of you when you're sick. Because they like to call it now the man flu. All right. Oh, you have the man flu. Okay. And when it comes to intimacy, understand that sex is not a right, sex is a reward. Okay. And don't expect it all the time, even if you're married. Okay. This is the way that modern day relationships are. And then if you're even in a relationship with a woman who does cook and clean, and does talk to her husband, she calls it emotional labor. She calls it domestic labor. She says that she should be getting paid for it. She doesn't like doing it. She's miserable doing it. It's a it's described almost as a form of slavery. Women should be paid for emotional labor, for taking care of their husbands and their children, for relating to them. I mean, this is the modern day world we now live in. And when you realize that, women are miserable doing these things, it basically sounds like women are miserable in relationships. And ultimately, men are going to say, well, you know what? If we're making you so miserable, for example, even if you'll cook and you'll clean, even if you're an American woman, you'll cook and you're clean, you don't like doing these things. And these are not things that you necessarily even know how to do or do very well. So we can just go overseas to Latin America or to somewhere in Asia, the Philippines especially, where women love to cook and they love to feed people. They take pride in cooking. This is something that they like doing. Guys, years ago I used to love cooking. All right, I used to love cooking. I would hang out with my boys. I tried cook different recipes. My boys would clean. They clean the dish. They do the dishes. I would do the cooking. We'd all sit down, chill out, eat, watch Dragon Ball Super. I'm so serious. Watch TV, talk shit, and there's no man that calls another man a bitch because he can cook. There's no man. I don't know any man in this world that's gonna call me a bitch because I can cook, because I can throw down in the kitchen. Get the fuck out of here. How many men are on YouTube right now with channels? They're literally dedicated to cooking. All right? You've got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Men make a sport out of it. The top chefs in the entire world are men. The top chefs in the entire world are men. This is just, and it's not that women are not capable. Women are quite capable. I forgot the name of this very famous old chef. They did like an epic rap battle about her, but she was a well-trained chef, and then she had her own cooking show. But she could really throw down. I'm not talking about Rachel Ray. No, she was like trained in Paris, I think. But most modern women, they don't want to do that. They don't want to be top chefs. They don't want to cook for their family and for their kids, for their husbands. It's not something they enjoy. They don't like learning recipes. I'm not saying you have to go to culinary school, but do you enjoy cooking? Is it a part of who you are? Do you enjoy watching people eat your food? Do you enjoy serving? Do you enjoy knowing that, wow, like someone's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, Because I enjoy getting feedback. I enjoy people saying, shit, bro, this is insane. You know how to throw down, bro. All right? And you go to Philippines, Filipino women, they love that shit. Because you'll get respect for being able to cook. You go into a Filipina's house, and her house is spotless. All right? People will respect, like, wow, did you hire a maid? Nope. I take care of this shit myself. A Filipina is proud of her surroundings. Even if she doesn't have a lot of money, she is proud of how she takes care of her home. She carries herself with pride. The man that she's with, his clothing always looks good. His clothing is always on point. Man that she's with is always fresh, always looking clean, always smelling good. And other women walk when other women see them walking together, they say, "What? That's her man?" Right? Because she wants her man to look good and feel good. All right? She wants her man to look good and feel good. And this is the thing. This is the thing. American women, they don't enjoy doing these things. They don't like doing these things. And that's where things are messed up right now. This is why American women, there's really no coming back. There really is, like, why Western women have lost everything and they don't realize it. Like, I'll tell you guys something. Like, I'm like hurting over some things right now. Like, I'm I joke about chicks and sometimes, and I'll like, so I say, hey, where's your OnlyFans? But bro, like, there was this girl that was in Mr. V's video, and she was a cute chick. She's cute. She was Brazilian, and she had some pictures on Instagram that were a little, like, I don't know, but she had a good personality, and she tried to do like the social media thing for a while. And someone, I literally asked her a while, like months ago, like, where's your OnlyFans? And she responded like, I don't have an OnlyFans, and I will never have an OnlyFans. Fast forward, Mr. Beast video took place in November, I think, of 2022. That was not long ago. No, what was I'm wrong about that? I'm wrong about that. That was time really tight. No, the squid it's been actually over a year. It took place in November of 2021, and so it's been a bit out around 1 year, 4 months. Okay, so it's been a little while, but you go back a year, almost a year and a half ago, and she's like, someone's like, where's your OnlyFans? And she's like, I don't have an OnlyFans, and I will never have an OnlyFans. And she said that in a video. And fast forward, like, almost a year and a half later, and you go to her Insta, you click on her link tree, and she has all these different links to her other social media platforms. And of course, she now has an OnlyFans. And her OnlyFans, of course, has very sensitive content there. And I'm like, wow. And there's another, and it's like, it's not just her. Like, some guys are going to say, well, I mean, what do you think? She had certain kind of pictures on her profile. It was only inevitable. But I was like rooting for her. Like, I joked about it. Like, come on, where's your OnlyFans? But, I was like hoping that she would not become an OnlyFans star. And now she's posting news on OnlyFans. From what I can, like, I mean, it's explicit. It's explicit. I haven't subscribed to. I have never, ever paid for a girl's OnlyFans. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I have never, ever paid for a girl's OnlyFans. I've never done it. And I don't know what's on there, but she calls it sensitive. It's explicit content. All right. So, I mean, it's at least lewds or nudes. And I'm just like, wow. And there's also like another channel on YouTube named Miss Click Gaming, and I follow Miss Click Gaming sometimes, and she's a part of like the Spawn Cast. They do this like stream every Saturday. It's another channel here on YouTube. Some of you guys know Spawn Wave, and there's a Spawn Cast that happens on Saturday, and John from Spawn Cast from Spawn Wave is there hosting it. RGT85 is on there. And so some other channels, I forget all the names of these people. Dreamcast guy, I don't know if that's his name. Like, there's a bunch of other YouTuber content creators on there, and there's usually only one girl, and her name is Miss Click Gaming, right? And Miss Click, she suffered a lot over the last year. Like, her father passed away, I believe, and their relationship, I don't think it was the greatest, and she was struggling with a lot of things, and she tried to get a job at G4 before they closed down. That didn't really work out, and there was a bunch of things, and she's, from what I understand, like, there's some other family issues, and I think she was trying to move, and I don't know how she's paying her bills. Well, I was so like, this is just a normal girl. Like, you go to her Instagram, you don't find pictures of her in bikinis. You don't find this kind of stuff. She's not ugly. She's pretty decent. She's good looking, but she's not an Insta thought. And then what does she do? Like, I don't know when she did it. She creates an OnlyFans, but it's okay. It's okay because it's a safe for work OnlyFans, and it's and where she promotes body positivity. And I'm like, bro, this is so sad. This is so sad because like, okay, so like it's like girls are like so drawn to OnlyFans now that even if they're not posting nudes or lewds, they're still trying to make money off OnlyFans posting pictures of themselves. And it's like just the perception of being an OnlyFans girl. Like this will mess up your life. You know, this will mess up your life. Do you have it? Like, you go for a job interview. Do you have some interviews like, do you have an OnlyFans? Or anything similar? And right then and there, like, oh, I have an OnlyFans, but it's only safe for work stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, so we'll get back to you. They're never gonna get back to them. Yeah, guys. I mean, it's it sets a person up for a bad reputation, and a lot of these young women, like, they're online selling feet pics. There was like this guy doing street interviews, and he like stopped this guy and this girl, and he's like, "Oh, hey, are you guys a couple?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they asked. He was like, "Tell me some things that you don't like about each other." And one of the things the girl says is, she says, "I don't like that he makes less money than I do." And then it's revealed that she sells feet pics, feet pics, and she's like, she used the feet pics, she used that money to buy herself, like, I don't remember, some expensive shit, and also her boyfriend like a $2,000 MacBook or some shit like that. And that was nice of her, but she's like, she doesn't like the fact that she makes more money than him. And I'm like, that hurts so bad because I don't know what this guy does for a living, but whatever he does, he has to work. He actually has to work for his money. He has to provide a service. He has to do something. Even if you're delivering pizza, even if you're delivering Domino's, you have to physically do something. You actually have to provide a service for someone. You actually have to provide value, right? And providing, selling pictures of your body so that some guy can go fap to, selling your feet pics, selling your feet pics, and then thinking that that's real work because you're making thousands of dollars off some because some pervert wants to look at your feet. That's, and then thinking that's a real job. That's a joke. And that's the world that we live in today. Women, modern women, they don't want to work. They don't want to clean. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean, and they don't want to have real jobs anymore. There was a girl on the Fresh and Fit podcast. I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was. She was on Fresh and Fit, and this is a girl who was, her father is a Muslim. I don't know if she's actively a Muslim, but her father is a Muslim. Okay, and you can tell that she's like of Middle Eastern descent, I guess. And this is what's terrible. She was boasting to Fresh and Fit. She was boasting to Myron that she sells her nudes on OnlyFans, and she's so proud of this. And Myron is like, "You're proud that you sell pictures of your butthole on OnlyFans?" She's like, "I sell my nudes on OnlyFans." And he's again like, "You're proud that you're selling pictures of your butthole on there." He was trying to mock her a bit, but it was all in all, she was proud of this. And then, what she's so proud of is the fact that she used to be a chemical engineer. To be a chemical engineer, you need a shitload of calculus. I hated calculus. All right, I hated that shit. I took so much math in college for my master's. Oh gosh, anyway, I took a lot of math. I hated calculus. I hated calculus. She took shitloads of calculus, and she worked her way through that degree. And the average salary for a chemical engineer is about $97,000 a year. That's the average. She left her job as a chemical engineer to go and post pictures of her butthole on OnlyFans, and she's so proud of it. And she's so proud that her father is a Muslim and that he has to deal with the fact that his daughter is posting this type of shit on OnlyFans. She's so proud. And she's a model for young girls now in America. This is what young girls are to aspire to be. Look at Cardi B. One of the most popular songs that was out recently was WAP. What does WAP stand for? Wet ass pussy. Okay? And in the song, Cardi says, I can't cook, I can't clean, but I got this wet ass pussy. All right? And she's talking about shit. She's saying shit like gush, gush, gush. Like, what the fuck? Like what? You think I'm gonna get off on your discharge? Like, this is disgusting. And that's really all it is. Women think today that, pussy is gonna take them everywhere. Men are gonna always want them because they have pussy. It doesn't matter how badly they behave. It doesn't matter how little they have to offer. They have the pussy, and the pussy is everything. And it really isn't. Men are going overseas to all these other countries, and women all over the world are trying to take these men. Because let me tell you something: you go to other countries, and women are looking for men who have a solid education, looking for men who have skills, looking for men who aren't running out in the streets. In America, Tyrone and Chad are like, they're the shit. In other countries, women don't want Tyrone and Chad. Why the fuck would you want Tyrone in your neighborhood? Are you out of your motherfucking mind? What woman in her right mind would want a fucking Tyrone? All right? Oh my gosh. What woman in her right fucking mind would want a Tyrone? This is the same motherfucker that helped to destroy the black community. And these are the kinds of men that women are chasing after. No woman in her right mind should want a man like this. But that's what makes women in America hot and bothered. But you go to other countries, they don't want these type of men in their neighborhood. These men are being thrown in jail. All right? And chasing after a Chad? You mean the guy that every girl is trying to fuck? Why would you want to go after that guy? He's never going to be serious about you. He's not going to settle down with you. He's not going to provide for you. All right? He's a terrible choice. He doesn't even give a shit about you. Oh, but he can fuck really good. Is that all you're thinking about? The only thing you're thinking about is cock? And then when all is said and done, you go out and you try to look for a stable man, right? Who has to have all these qualities. But don't get me wrong, you still want Chad or Tyrone. I was watching this video, and there's this guy. There was this guy who was from America. He had met his wife in the Philippines, brought her to America. They decided to move back to the Philippines. And he was like 5'9", 5'10". The guy worked out. He was ripped. Just keep in mind, this passport bro thing. It's not a black thing. It's a man thing. All right. Men of all colors, all races, like from the West, are like saying, "Yo, we're done with this shit." This was a white guy. This guy was ripped. He was huge. You can look at his arms. He worked out. He had big arms. He was super fit. And he said it. He said he's like 5'9", 5'10", and women in the United States don't look at him. They're out here trying to act like he's a short king. Like, what? 5'10" is short? Are y'all out of your damn minds? 5'9", 5'10" is short? Oh my gosh. And here's something interesting. The average height in the Philippines is 5'4". So when an American guy goes over there who's like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", they're tall. They tower over both the men and women in the Philippines. So you have a lot of women who are just 5'2" or 5 foot. So next to this guy, he's towering over them, and the women love that. All right? You go over there, you're like, I have a job. I want to take care of you. I want to give you a place to live. I'll buy you clothes. I'll buy food. You'll cook the food. You'll clean the place. We'll go places together. I'll be there for you. I won't be out in the streets. And women are like, oh my gosh, where have you been my entire life? It's a very religious country. Don't get me wrong. There's no such thing as divorce in that country. If you want to get out of your marriage, the marriage has to be annulled. You have to go through the Catholic Church to have your marriage annulled. I'm not saying that It's everything is perfect because you have to be careful. There are always going to be people that try to take advantage of you. But the truth of the matter is that men are just women basically act that most men are pests for them in America right now. Like women are like, oh, you're a pest, you're a pest. I don't want you. The truth is that men are, a lot of women are attacking men who are going overseas, and they're saying that these men are abusive. These men are going for these women who can't read and can't write. They're uneducated. They they're poor. They can't speak English, which is so sad. 92% of the Philippines speak English. All right, a lot of in Thailand, a lot of the women in Thailand, a lot of the population speaks English in Thailand. I mean, in a lot of these countries, the women speak English. In fact, in the Philippines, they speak multiple languages. And English is has always been one of the official languages of the Philippines. I mean, this is absolutely insane. And like a lot of these Filipinas have been clapping back, not just from the Philippines, the Filipinos that live in the United States, because the women have been criticizing them, calling them uneducated, calling them poor, saying that they're being used by these men, that they don't know they can't speak English, so they don't know what's going on. I mean, like it's gotten really bad, and these Filipinos have been clapping back at them, and not just the Filipinos, Asian women in general have been clapping back at them and just like putting them on notice, and not just Asian women in Asia, Asian women living in the United States that were born here, born in America, raised in America, and they're letting these women know, like in America, like you need to step off. Saying that we are on it, that our people are uneducated. There's this one girl. She was like, "You better check yourself before you wreck yourself." And the chick was gorgeous, but and she was an American. She had an American accent, and it's like it's gotten to that point where where the truth is like these women still need these stable men because these are the Plan B guys. The men that they say they don't want are the Plan B guys. When Chad and Tyrone don't work out, they need a stable guy to help them get their money up. You know, help them get back on their feet because they've been running wild for like the last 20 years. They've burnt now. They're old and tired, and they still want Chad. They still want Tyrone, but their value. But Chad and Tyrone aren't looking at them the way they used to. So what do they need to do? They need to get now. They don't have anything. The career didn't work out. All that shit's fucked up. So now they need a stable man to hold them down. So they want to go and find a stable man, the same guys they were rejecting all along, and get pregnant by this guy, so they can extract child support and alimony, and then use him to get to be their come up. That's what they call him, to be a come up. And a lot of men are now like, no, 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 not gonna happen, not gonna happen. What Western women, they don't get it. They don't realize that they've lost everything already. They've lost their dignity. They've lost their self-respect. They've lost their men. Okay, they've lost the opportunity to start families, and they don't realize it because they're playing games right now. 34% of women are single. 63% of men are single. What that also means is that 34%, from that 34%, a lot of those women are dating the exact same men. All right, a lot of those women from that 34%. Well, let me correct myself. A lot of those women who are not a part of the 34%, a lot of the women who are dating men currently are dating the exact same men. All right, they're dating the exact same men. I want y'all to think about it, because 63% of men are single, right? 63% of men are single, so that means that only around 37% of men are actually in relationships. I hope I got that right. All right. And then if you go a step now, if you look at it if you look at it this way, all right? And then on the other hand, when you look at it, 66% of women are in relationships. All right? So what that's telling us is that a lot of these women are dating the same men. They're dating the same men and they're sleeping with the same men. And they can't all marry the same guy. A lot of these guys don't want to marry them. So what are they going to do? They're going to go looking for a stable man to be their come up when everything falls apart. And these guys are going to be gone by then. They're going to be long gone. Let me know what you guys think. If Western women have lost everything but don't realize it, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, which is men walking away, and cheers.